welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so that you never miss a video. Today I'm going to be talking about what an MAA is and how sponsors get approval from EMA. So make sure you stick around and watch the entire video. MAA stands for Marketing Authorization Application, and this is specifically for the EU. And what I'll be talking about in this video is specific to the EMA centralized procedure. Before I get into the steps of acquiring an MAA, I want to quickly explain what a CTA is, which stands for Clinical Trial Application. A CTA is equivalent to an IND, which stands for Investigational New Drug Application. If you're interested in learning more about an IND, make sure you check out my Regulatory Affairs Explained series. I talk all about it. An MAA is equivalent to a BLA or an NDA. BLA and NDAs are specific to the United States. When a sponsor is interested in getting a medicine approved in the EMA, they have to go through either the centralized or decentralized procedure. Now, how do sponsors figure out whether or not they should go the decentralized or centralized procedure? They have to submit an eligibility request form 18 to 7 months prior to their MAA submission. This form can be found on the EMA's website. In addition to the eligibility request form, a sponsor also needs to submit a pre-submission request form. You submit this form via the EMA help desk, and you should do this 7 months prior to your MAA submission. I've interacted with the EMA service desk before, and it can be a little nuancy. If you don't have an account, you actually can go to the EMA account management portal, and it'll show you steps on how to create one. Now, after the sponsor has submitted their pre-submission request form, which shows the EMA when they intend to submit their MAA, at this time, the CHMP and the PRAC will appoint co-rapporteurs for the scientific evaluation. CHMP stands for the Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use, and PRAC stands for Pharmacovigilance Risk Assessment Committee. During this time, the sponsor may have pre-submission meetings with members of the committees. This is similar to how the FDA does it with our different divisions and offices. When you initially submit your IND, there's essentially a project manager that's assigned within the division, within the office, within the center. Those are the people that you'll be interacting with unless your project manager or your review committee changes. But the people who reviewed your IND are likely to review your NDA submission. They like to keep things pretty consistent within the government agency, given that no one leaves the team, but it just makes it easier for the review process. 2 to 3 months before your actual MAA submission, you want to reconfirm your submission date with the EMA. Again, this is very similar to the FDA. Oftentimes, your FDA regulatory project manager will reach out and say, hey, are you actually going to submit this IND or this NDA in 2 months or in 3 months? I think it's for planning purposes, but it also could just be for curiosity. But when it comes to the EMA, notifying them 2 to 3 months before is part of their processes and procedures. And then before you know it, you have your actual submission date and you submit your MAA with all the required documentation. After the EMA has received their submission, it goes through a validation process to ensure that everything is compliant per regulations and guidelines, and the EMA will reach out to you and let you know if there's anything that's missing, and they will assign a deadline of when they need that information. The CHMP, as I said at the beginning of this video, will evaluate your application with input from PRAC and other committees if necessary. There's also called the Committee for Advanced Therapies, which is known as CAT, and they'll pull them in if it's relevant. Now, this whole process takes about 210 days. The EMA is very specific with submission dates. On their website, they actually have a whole timetable of when their submissions take place. I'll put the link down below if you're curious, but everything lines up very perfectly. After the evaluation is all said and done, the CHMP will issue their opinion on whether or not the medicine is approved. The EMA then sends the opinion to the European Commission, and they issue the marketing authorization. After that's all said and done, the EMA will publish a summary of the committee's opinion. I think it's important to note that the European Commission is the authorizing body for the centralized procedure. Decentralized means you have to go country by country. Oftentimes, medicines aren't approved. So what happens if a medicine is not approved? When it's not approved, the EMA will publish a refusal European Public Assessment Report, also known as an EPAR, and this will take place within 67 days of the CHMP opinion. I actually worked on a program that didn't receive approval from the EMA, and oftentimes what sponsors will do is they'll either assess what's in the application and go country by country, or they'll just throw in the towel if they don't have the money to go back and file for an appeal or try and resubmit their application. I hope you found this video helpful. I think learning about global regulatory affairs is really important. As you know, every different country has their own regulating bodies. The United States has the FDA, Japan has PMDA, Canada has Health Canada, and when you manage global studies, you do get exposure to what are the differences between the different countries. But nonetheless, if you are interested in learning more about European regulations, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.